Knights.
Very good evening and welcome to the Kingston Heath Football Complex in the southeastern suburbs of Melbourne for this quarter-final of the FFA Cup. It's Melbourne City taking on the Wellington Phoenix. Melbourne City, of course, have already won this competition back in 2016. They were runners-up in 2019, but the Wellington Phoenix have never got this far in this competition. The winner tonight makes it through to the semi-final of this season's edition of the FFA Cup. All tickets taken for tonight's game. The allocation's exhausted, so it'll be a boisterous crowd cheering on the home side, Melbourne City, for this one this evening. The Bentley Greens complex, scene of many FFA Cup dramas over the years, with the local NPL side so successful in this competition over the last few years. Joining me in commentary tonight, former Newcastle Jets coach Scott Miller. Good evening, Scott. What a beautiful night it is for football.
Absolute cracker, Michael. Good to be here. Looking forward to this one.
Two teams obviously at different ends of the spectrum on the A-League men's table. The Wellington Phoenix coming off a 4-0 loss to Adelaide United over the weekend, and Melbourne City haven't had any football for 18 days. Their last game was up against Melbourne Victory in the A-League men's competition. Here are the team lineups. 5 changes for Melbourne City from that game against Melbourne Victory. Scott Galloway and Kieran Stokes come into defence. Manuel Pucciarelli and Roston Griffiths come into the midfield. And Jordan Boss will start on the left wing tonight. Andrew Naboo will start as a number 9 in the absence of the suspended Jamie McLaren. Wellington Phoenix also make a few changes after their loss to Adelaide United at the weekend. Sam Sutton comes in at left back to replace James McGarry, who is moved to the bench. Alex Rufer will start in defence because Tim Payne is out, and Nick Pennington comes into the starting 11 in the midfield and will play the role that Alex Rufer played in the first half against Adelaide United. The Wellington Phoenix announcing just before kickoff that 3 of their players also impacted by COVID and unavailable for tonight's game. Tim Payne, the noticeable absentee who wore the captain's armband in the second half last weekend against Adelaide United. They've spoken about that performance, Scott. It was below par from the Wellington Phoenix. A chance to make amends tonight in this FFA Cup competition.
Yeah, well, we spoke about the game a few weeks ago up at Hume, and you get this far in a competition like this, you've got to give it everything. You've got to select your best players, and the way the A-League is at the moment in terms of the disrupted season, this is a great opportunity for them to play and furthermore get further in this competition. It's going to be a great challenge tonight because their system stacking up against a 4-3 is going to be quite challenging. Does Ufuk Talib keep his wide players tucking inside to keep that overload, or does he go a bit more conventional and change his system?
So plenty of changes for both sides and plenty of administrative headaches for both clubs to deal with over the last few weeks. But all is in readiness now. Referee Ben Abraham to get us underway. Assistant referee George Lacridis and Andrew Marakis. Jack Morgan is the 4th official. So a perfect night for football here in the southeastern suburbs of Melbourne. It's quite a strong breeze blowing across. The referee's just making some last-minute checks. There might be an issue with one of the goals with Tommy Glover coming over to get some repair work done on one of the nets. So there will be a slight delay before things kick off tonight. The good old-fashioned gaffer tape.
Happens a lot, but I must admit, look at the surface, Michael. I think we're in for a cracker tonight. There's no excuses with the surface whatsoever.
Yeah, Bentley Greens play their football here in the NPL. They've just started their pre-season. They were kicked off the pitch tonight. They were supposed to have a training session this evening. So the repairs will just take a moment before we can get things going. You can see the wind blowing towards that end of the ground to the right of the screen. All fixed as we get ready for kickoff in this quarter-final of the FFA Cup. Josh Sotirio gets us underway. And what a night out he had in the last FFA Cup for the Wellington Phoenix. Their round of 16 game a couple of weeks ago against Avondale, the NPL powerhouse, and Josh Sotirio had a brace within the first 15 minutes, Scott.
Yeah, he changed the game, didn't he? In the first 15 minutes, they're making those forward runs in between the centre-back, but it was the system of Wellington that really hurt Hume at that time. So it'll be interesting to see how Melbourne City combat that tonight.
So Alex Rufer plays an early ball for Callum Elliott. Now Ben Old, dispossessed by Roston Griffiths, and Ben Old, the Aucklander, born into a golf family. He was very good at golf in his early days, I'm told. Competed in a first professional tournament as a 7-year-old in the United States of America. So he had a hard decision to make a few years ago. Would it be golf or would it be football? Pretty hard to make it on the golf tour, isn't it?
It's a bit spoiled if you're good at two sports at this level, right? Good, fair play to him.
He says he plays at least twice a week, so I'd imagine his handicap would be pretty good. Ben Old, good to see him get a start tonight. Wellington Phoenix, of course, have had a lot of challenges being based in Australia and called in 4 players into their squad just before the A-League men's season started. Academy players Van Hatten, Finn Sermon and Jackson Manuel weren't expecting to start this season in the A-League men's competition. But Ufuk Talay needed some reinforcements and he has to dig deep into his squad, as we've seen tonight. Here's Nuno Reis for Tilio and now Scott Jamieson. Here's Berenguer. Interesting to see how Melbourne City do structure their midfield tonight with Pucciarelli and Berenguer in the midfield. Jordan Bose playing on the left wing. Andrew Naboo starting out wide tonight. We thought he might have played the number 9 role, but it looks like Marco Tilio, Scott, perhaps he's playing that false 9.
Yeah, it looks like that. He's dropping into that midfield position and Pucciarelli's playing slightly higher off him. So there is a certain rotation, obviously leaving the centre-backs of Wellington free and obviously giving the midfield that overload as well.
Roston Griffiths returning to the starting 11 after picking up an injury earlier in the season, a shoulder injury. Chance now as Melbourne City advance. All played into the area, and that's an easy one for the young goalkeeper, Alexander Poulsen, to collect. He wasn't expecting to play any senior football either this year. I was in Sydney a couple of weeks ago when Ollie Sale was injured in that game against Sydney FC. He's done his hip flexor, so he'll be out for an extended period of time, and young Alexander Poulsen did a fantastic job that night when you're coming in unexpected. Pulled off some terrific saves and has looked very comfortable in goal.
Yeah, this is a great test for him. Now it's about, being a young goalkeeper, providing that consistency in performance as well and maintaining that number 1 position.
Race long range ball for Andrew Naboo is a good one. We know how dangerous the Socceroo can be from here. Andrew Naboo goes one way and then the other, but that's well defended in the end. A
good mix-up of variety there. You see Melbourne City initially playing through that mid-third, but going a bit more direct to Andrew Naboo there. Good tactic.
Sam Sutton did well. He was turned inside out initially, but stood his ground. Here's Galloway. Now Pucciarelli tried to play it to the advantage of Andrew Naboo. Andrew Naboo was outstanding in the last outing for Melbourne City in that classic Melbourne derby, that pre-Christmas derby. He scored one and assisted one, if my memory serves me correctly, and one of the best players on the park. That was a cracking game that night.
Yeah, it was. I was home watching that one, and the atmosphere, the competitiveness of both teams as well really reflected a strong derby.
Chance now for David Ball. the Wellington Phoenix, one of the more experienced players in this lineup. Ufuk Talay has spoken about just how young and inexperienced this side is. Well, he'll be looking to David Ball. He's played professional football in the UK to lead this side tonight in the absence of Tim Payne. Berenguer wins the ball back for City. And Wellington will work it away. Josh Laws. All but 5 Melbourne City players had tested positive for COVID, as Ben Wayne has a good opportunity here. Just laboured on it a little bit and allowed the defender to come back and make the challenge. And Kieran Stokes, that was a great opening, wasn't it, Scott?
For me, that's a wasted opportunity. Fantastic ball over the top of Galloway there. Jamison at that left fullback position. He should be taking that on. He's got the pace and power. He's in advance of the centre back, get a shot off. But more importantly, there was actually an option for a pass as well at the back post.
Yeah, great opening there for Ben Wayne. We've seen him score in this competition on several occasions. He scored that winning goal against the Western United side earlier on. Scored against Avondale. Good ball into the near post. That's a great opportunity. Flicked on at the back post, and another chance goes begging for Ufuk Talay's side. It's a well-worked corner.
Yeah, look at the delivery here as he whips that in. Fantastic near post. Jamison doesn't get his head on. Little flick onto the back post. Surely that needs to be a finish. Missed opportunity. If he's inside the back post, then that's hitting the back of the net.
So Melbourne City just a little lacklustre in the early exchanges here at Kingston Heath. Patrick Gisnorbo talking about his side's preparation being far from ideal coming into this game, and he said in his pre-game press conference yesterday, Scott, that he just doesn't know what to expect given the lack of training, the lack of match conditioning that his players have experienced over the last fortnight. Yeah,
the physical component's going to play a massive factor, but tactically and technically they're going to be pretty organised. You can do that in meetings and things like that. It's not all that hot today either, so it'll be interesting to see who lasts the longest. He's certainly going to have to use his bench at certain times.
As I was saying, only all but 5 of their squad of 23 went down with COVID. Some suffering more than others. Here's Jamison, now Tilio. Nice ball in by Tilio at the near post, but that's well managed and headed out for a corner kick to Melbourne City. Yeah, that's well worked. But once again, we spoke about Tilio a few weeks ago away at Hume. You know, that final third execution, making those key passes, finding those key passes back into their second 6-yard box for those one-touch finishes. So Tilio standing over the ball, waiting to get the all clear from the referee to get things moving again. Not sure what the hold-up is, but we're finally given the all clear. Nuno Reis making the run at the near post. It hits that direction. Jamison back inside. And that's headed away for the Wellington Phoenix by Sam Sutton for a throw. It was interesting to hear the comments of Ufuk Talay yesterday as well, speaking to the press in New Zealand, saying that so far they haven't been too impacted by COVID. Before tonight, only 2 players, but another 3 today. He was saying, hopefully we're doing all the right things and our boys aren't going out clubbing. And he joked, saying, well, half of them wouldn't get into a nightclub because they're too young.
Fair play. Fair play to him. No, he hasn't lost his sense of humour in these times. Obviously, it's going to be difficult. It's just another complexities of professional sport at the moment that we have to deal with and manage, but most importantly, learn from.
Gary Hooper, of course, missed the game against Adelaide on the weekend. He's not here tonight. So potentially that's one of the other players. Here's Sotirio, who's got plenty of speed. He doesn't mind this competition. Josh Sotirio, his shot was on target, but Kieran Stokes did enough to get a foot on that and take the heat out of that shot.
He certainly looked like he had him for a bit of pace there. He had him on the outside. Great effort getting a shot off.
Plenty of composure playing it out of the back there by Tommy Glover. Griffiths to Tilio. Now Galloway trying to move it quickly, Melbourne City. Sotirio doing the pressing. Young Kieran Stokes forced to sweep this one up. Here's Florent Berenguer. What a great player and addition he's been to the A-League. Now Nuno Reis, who joined Melbourne City this time last year in the January transfer window. An accomplished central defender who certainly added to this Melbourne City squad.
Yeah, he adds that, provides that composure in the back third playing out. I was just actually watching Wellington's first press there. They're actually having a lot of success in the initial back third here.
So a lovely work ball through the middle. And that's a headband. I didn't see that go on with that. Manuel Pucciarelli must have picked up a knock just a minute ago. He didn't start the game with that headpiece on.
No, I think it was just previous to that corner kick prior.
We've seen him do this on occasion when he played in that FFA Cup tie in the last round against Avondale, that 1-2 and moving the ball quickly and interchange passing with Marco Tilio has been great to watch. Here he is, Pucciarelli again, looking for Griffiths this time, headed away. Ben Wayne that time doing the defensive duty. We haven't seen a lot of the Italian, Pucciarelli. His appearances mainly in the FFA Cup so far. Valuable time on the pitch for him to prove he's up for selection in the A-League men's competition.
Well, he certainly brings that different element, doesn't he? He can play wide, he can play high. He's very intelligent in terms of where he's picking up that ball. And I referenced your comment before about that combination play on the edge of the box. He is smart, he is intelligent, he's got a good first touch as well. So he'll be looking to bring that more into the game tonight.
Well, Wellington looking a lot more composed than they were on the weekend against Adelaide United. Cup competition. They've played some good football. Sotirio handball. It'll be a free kick to Melbourne City. Busy period for all clubs over the next week, should games continue as scheduled. Wellington Phoenix, this is the second game in a period of 7 days. They've got another game coming up on the weekend. Lovely shot from a distance, which is wide of the mark. But Wellington on top here early doors.
No, they're really organised. You see their front press here. They're obviously showing outside onto the fullback, committing men forward here. Obviously, they've got out quite easily there. Slightly mistimed first press.
All right, here's Pucciarelli now to try and respond for Melbourne City. Tilio dragged off the ball on the halfway line by Alex Rufer. So City will take the free kick. Race to Griffiths under pressure. Ben Wayne and Josh Sotirio doing the pressing. Here in Stokes. The long ball down the left-hand side. Now Jamison. Scott Jamison playing alongside against Ben Old tonight. They both love their golf. Jamo fancies himself as a golfer, so they might have a bit of a chat about that when things calm down after the game tonight. Here's Pucciarelli again. Ball looking for the free kick, and he'll get it.
Key component of Melbourne City's build-up there. You see Jamison, rather than playing the conventional left fullback position, drops into midfield to make it that 4v3, gets on the ball, free pass, and then are away.
This is the second meeting between Melbourne City and the Wellington Phoenix in the FFA Cup. The only other meeting between the two sides. City defeated the Knicks 5-1. And that was back in 2015. Wellington infamously knocked out of the FFA Cup a few years ago, right here on this pitch, when Mark Redan was in charge against the Bentley Greens.
I was actually here commentating that one a few years ago alongside Simon Hill. It was a good night.
I was here too.
It was a cold one.
Must have been on the sideline.
Cold one.
There's a foul in the middle of the pitch. So Wellington will get another opportunity to work it forward. Played early for Ben Wayne. Tom Glover comes off his line quickly. Jamison looking for Nabood, and the offside flag is raised. It's been around the traps, Scott Jamison. Went to Bolton Wanderers as a 15-year-old back in 2005, and spoke to him a few weeks ago on our podcast, Scott, about the 2006 World Cup campaign and that famous night in 2005 when Australia qualified for the World Cup for the first time in a very long time, and he spoke about where he was that night. He was at Bolton training in the gym as a 15-year-old and wasn't able to watch the game, but was getting updates.
It's a good memory. I can't remember where I was. How about you?
I was in the stadium.
Okay.
I was in the stadium. It was a great night. But a distinguished career for Scott Jamison after that time in England. Made his A-League debut at Adelaide United in 2008, and from there started to build a very successful A-League career. Sydney FC, Perth Glory, Western Sydney, and now Melbourne City, of course, where he joined in 2017. There's some speculation that they may not look at re-signing him last year and wait until after the season. Great to see him wearing the captain's armband and another contract under his belt. He starts this move forward and makes another run. We'll talk about that inverted full back role, which Melbourne City have implemented so successfully. We saw Scott make that run inside. For those who don't know what an inverted fullback is, you can explain the technicalities of it. It's basically those fullbacks coming inside, Scott.
Yeah, well, you're spot on. What happens is it actually leaves Bowes out wide here, open and clear in possession, because Scott Jamison is narrowing up the back four.
Here they go again. Another example of it. Jamison to Berenguer. Here's Stokes receiving from Bose. Now they switch it to Galloway. Tilio. Berenguer, heavy first touch, and allows a clearance.
Yeah, great play. You see Galloway stepping into midfield there, but what was more important, and I really like seeing, he punching that ball into Tilio. Can Tilio get on the half turn and drive at the back four? Potentially, if he gets an earlier shout.
Hope you're enjoying tonight's broadcast from Kingston Heath Complex in the southeast suburbs of Melbourne, home of the Bentley Greens. Perfect conditions for football. We had some blinding sun in our eyes just before kickoff. The gods have answered our prayers. The clouds covered that. And a turnover will create an opportunity here for Soterio. Just a bit heavy on the pass from David Ball. Not sure why David Ball was frustrated. It was his pass that was a bit heavy, Scott. You
know, in contrast, you see that key pass in between the centre-back there, you know, looking for a link-up, you know, build-up and playing off Wayne to maybe get his own shot and goal maybe have been a better option.
Tilio unlucky not to get a free kick there, I reckon, from Alex Rufer. Punched him in the back, play on the court. Laws. Ball, miscontrols it. Expect better from him.
It's pretty clear from the coach's message, Rufer's the one that's going in there. He's not holding back. He's stepping into that false 9 position of Tilio.
Really interesting tactical battle here in this FFA Cup quarter-final. Another quarter-final being played tonight in Adelaide, with Melbourne Victory travelling to Adelaide to take on Adelaide United. You can catch all the action on 10 Play this evening on both live streams, but we'll keep you up to date with what's happening over in Adelaide as well. Currently 0-0 there after just 5 minutes. Here's Clayton Lewis for the Wellington Phoenix. Now David Ball does well to ride the challenge of Pucciarelli. Has space here for Elliott. Oh. Gets a second chance, Elliott. Pennington inside for Sotirio. Plenty of bodies in there. Glover plays it out to Galloway. And the interception forced over the line by Clayton Lewis.
Chilio's so important tonight. You see his position just on the back there of the referee. If Melbourne City can be a bit more progressive through that midfield, especially Griffiths punching that ball into his feet there away, their penetration will now come from their wide player.
They break the line here, but Berenguer can't take advantage of it. Here's Old. Now Lewis. He's got the overlapping run on the left-hand side, and that's where he goes. Sam Sutton presenting. Now Pennington can turn and go. It's exactly what he does. Wayne to Pennington. Tries to get some bend on that pass, but easy one for Scott Galloway to see over the line.
Yeah, it's the right idea. You see the system with Victelli set them up in that 4-4-2 with the wide players coming inside. It is going to be the penetration's going to come from the fullback. There's Pennington's distribution in the back third. You know, he really needs to hit those passes in those final third.
Melbourne City, of course, winning this competition in 2016. They made the quarter-final last back in 2019. A 3-0 win over Western Sydney Wanderers. Looking to make the semi-final this evening, the winner of this contest. You might remember that rather infamous celebration at the end of the 2016 final with Bruno Fornaroli going up and taking the trophy and letting out an expletive. It was lost in translation. English wasn't his strong point back then.
Passion from him. But you know, what a significant night for the club as well. You know, the first silverware, good group of players, and they've gone on since then. They've really continued to build as well.
An historic year for them last year in the A-League men's competition. Winning the grand final, of course, and finishing top of the table. And they are the hot favourites going into this year's competition as well. Matthew Leckie, of course, added to the squad on the bench tonight. Socceroo. Jamie McLaren, the other Socceroo. It's well worked. Jamison found a very smart pass for Manuel Pucciarelli, and the Italian put his shot over the crossbar. That's probably the best side on goal they've had so far tonight, Scott.
Yeah, fantastic little short corner there. You see the forward run from the wide player. Pucciarelli there using that initiative, making that blind run. Jamison very intelligent there. Should be hitting the target, but, you know, promising signs.
Jamie McLaren, of course, sent off in that Melbourne derby, so he's out tonight. He's sitting right in front of us, looking very relaxed in his shorts and feeling fit. I spoke to him earlier, itching to get back out there, the Socceroo. Of course, he'll be in contention to make Graham Arnold's side. If he can get some game time under his belt, he'll be aware of that. Socceroos in Melbourne for that crucial World Cup qualifier against Vietnam on the 27th of January. The game sold out at Amy Park. Sold out within a couple of weeks, so great to see the Melbourne sporting community getting behind the Socceroos. That will be an electric evening. Here's a chance now for Jamison. Does well to pinch possession. Tilio Forced wide, Tilio, he goes down, and the referee points to the spot.
No doubt at all. You see him, he dropped the shoulder, went past the centre back there. For me, that's a penalty.
And it all started from Scott Jamieson. A terrific interception by the Melbourne City captain. And Marco Tilio makes a terrific run. Gets in behind, and there's the nudge on the back by Callan Elliott, the youngster. Tilio too hot to handle. In the last FFA Cup game for Melbourne City, you might remember Marco Tilio took a penalty and missed it against Hume. So Scott Jamieson takes the responsibility. He scored one in the grand final. Can he do it here? Jamieson puts it over the bar. So Wellington Phoenix get a lifeline here in the quarter final. A bad miss by the Melbourne City captain.
Well, we expected more from the captain, didn't we? Great left foot, great technical player. Would have expected to put him away, but just back to the penalty, a lot of people at home probably thinking, was it? You know, it was just the body contact that the referee didn't like.
Well, there's a huge let-off for Ufuk Taleh's side. Scott Jamieson stood up in the big moment of the grand final of the A-League men's competition last year and nailed the penalty. Perhaps he prefers a bigger stage, Scott.
No, well, listen, you couldn't have found an easier time to do it.
Yep.
Used to the big stadiums.
He just got underneath it. Needs to brush it aside now and focus on what comes ahead. Free kick for Wellington on the halfway line for a shove on Josh Sotirio. Well, there's been plenty happening here in the first half an hour. A couple of minutes before kickoff, had running repairs on the net, and there's been terrific football being played. Sotirio plays it in quickly. It was a good ball for Ben Wayne. Pennington looking for David Ball in the far post. Sutton provides the support. That's where it goes. Well done by Sutton. Now Clayton Lewis. David Ball. Now Lewis again. Terrific by Clayton Lewis. Ben Wayne thought he might have had a little shove in the back. He doesn't protest too much. That was a good build-up by Wellington Phoenix. Yeah,
it was great play, really assured in those wide areas. Ball taking control. No penalty for me, but slight contact. But the forward's always going to go down in those situations if he can't reach that cross.
You can always judge by the reaction of the striker. If he gets up and protests, then he thinks he's got a case. Ben Wayne's got on with things then.
And then on the flip side, the centre-back going, what are you doing, mate? They didn't touch it.
No VAR here at this stage of the competition. Here's Elliott.
But better play from Wellington there. You know, they've got a lot of ball control now. They just need to be a bit more progressive. Keep it, you know, this back third's fine, but be a bit more progressive and get it into midfield and create clear-cut chances.
Elliott will be the most relieved man in Bentley tonight so far, giving away that penalty.
Keep the jumper now. We don't want it.
Here's Stokes, the Glover. Big year it was for Tommy Glover last year, winning the title with Melbourne City and representing the Olyroos at the Olympic Games. He's got another year to run after this year on his contract. Still just 24 years of age. Feels like he's been around for a long time, Tommy Glover.
Yeah, 24. He's really quite commanding now, isn't he? He's held that position last year, that experience, you know, sustaining the league form, being number one at a big club like this. Big pressure on the young boy and then going away with the Olyroos. Fantastic year for him.
Broke into the first team back in 19 and 20 season. Great future ahead of him. Did spend some time at Tottenham as a youngster. No doubt he'll have aspirations to head back overseas. Still very young for a goalkeeper.
Yeah, he was on our radar when we were at Newcastle as well. He was a player, our goalkeeper coach at the time, Jess Van Straten, was had identified as a potential young talented goalkeeper to bring back from Europe. So Melbourne City obviously lured him back with the brand and the opportunity.
Long ball by Rufa. Disappointing. Turns over possession and gives Melbourne City an opportunity. You've just joined us, Scott Jamieson missing a penalty just minutes ago for Melbourne City. After some terrific build-up play by Marco Tilio. Ironically, it was Scott Jamieson who created the chance that led to the Tilio run. Elliott, now Rufa has Tilio pressing. Rufa does well. Lewis plays the easy ball to Josh Laws. Now David Ball fends off the challenge of Pucciarelli. Nice possession here from the Wellington Phoenix. Old, Pennington and Lewis. Now Sutton out wide. Ball. Dispossessed David Ball. And that's a second time he's given away possession in the last few moments, David Ball. And that would disappoint Ufuk-Talay because he's one of his more experienced players and he needs a bit more from him, I reckon.
He looks a bit fatigued at the moment. You look at the efforts, looks a bit fatigued. But having said that, it was a good passage of play. You do expect more from your key players.
A late call by the referee for got a message from one of his assistants, I reckon, just to say there was a foul there, which he may have missed. There it was, off the ball.
In the last couple of minutes, I'm just watching Melbourne City's build-up. You can actually see the centre-backs, they're quite deep. And, the first press from Wellington isn't necessarily high. It's in that mid-third block. I think Paddy Cosnorbo might like to see his centre-backs driving the gap and engaging the nines of Wellington a bit further up the pitch.
Sotirio can't retain possession. Haven't seen a lot of Andrew Naboot in this first half. There's Wayne. Old. Now Lewis. Sutton. Here's Naboot right on cue. Doing his defensive duties there, but giving away the free kick. Quickly taken now for Elliott. Good ball to the far post. Perhaps a bit deep for Sotirio. Difficult one to control. Perhaps might have been better advised to take a touch first. Tried a difficult one. Berenguer looking to release Naboot. It was on. Cleared over the grandstand on the far side. First FFA Cup quarter-final for the Wellington Phoenix. Third different club to reach this stage of the campaign, and the 9th in the A-League men competition. Ball does well on that occasion. Fends off the challenge and passes it to Elliott. Back inside for Ball now. Old, nice interchange. Here's a chance for Wayne, and now David Ball. Was he fouled as he went down? The challenge going against David Ball. And a yellow card handed out to the Wellington player.
Great build-up play there, penetrating through that mid-third great combination play, really breaking down that back four. I think he's just his momentum there, Zappers, in terms of taking the player out.
A yellow card.
Yeah, a bit harsh.
I thought his intention was to go straight for the strike on goal there, and yeah, you said his momentum took him through, but well, the yellow card's a bit much. Ben Wayne asking the question as well. Just over 20 minutes gone in the other FFA Cup game tonight, 0-0 there. Here's Andrew Naboot now for Melbourne City. Terrific play by the Socceroo. Claims for a handball. Waved away. Play advantage did the referee because the ball's ended up with the Wellington Phoenix goalkeeper in Alex Paulson. So exciting to watch.
Great stuff there. You see Scotty Jamison there really driving the momentum through that mid-third, exposing the fullback being high. Naboo, he didn't see. Tilio was arriving late on the second 6-yard box. Simple pass back, one-touch finish. Potential different outlook.
So tough to stop Andrew Naboot when he has the ball at his feet and he's running at full pace.
He's so powerful. He commands that wide area so well. Drops the shoulder, goes past that player, but sometimes it's that little bit of indecision. Get your head up early, cut that ball back for those arriving attacking players.
Adelaide United and Melbourne Victory also in action tonight. 0-0, 21 minutes gone there. We've just ticked over 36 here. And it's all tied up. Melbourne City without football since the 18th of December when COVID swept through the club, forcing postponement to their most recent fixtures. Here's Lewis now for Wellington. Sotirio was looking for the foul. He won't get it. Cucciarelli to Berenguer. Now Jamison. Looking for that pass to Andrew Naboot. It was a beauty by Scott Jamison. Naboot asked the question for the foul inside the area. No foul, said the referee.
What a pass that was. No indecision at all. He knew the run was coming. Just put it on the edge of the 18-yard box there. Fantastic pass.
Sotirio, front position against Nuno Reis. Uses the body well. Old. Elliott. Late foul there. Was that Bose? I thought that might have been a foul on Elliott. Advantage paid. Sutton. Now Ball. Gets it inside the area. Well defended by Jamison. Ben Wayne was threatening. Pucciarelli. Wins it. Releases Griffiths. And Melbourne City will build again from the left-hand side this time. Berenguer turns quickly. Gets rid of Lewis easily. Now Tilio. Tried to do too much on his own there, Marco Tilio. Had two to beat. Numbers win out. He's Old. Goes on a lovely run himself. Wanted the foul and didn't get it. Gee. Ben Abraham letting plenty go in this first half. I thought there was contact there on Ben Old as he made the run. Pucciarelli plays it out wide. Bose to Stokes. To Galloway. Wayne puts the pressure on. The two Olympians go at it here. Wayne diving in. Tommy Glover gets the pass away just in time. Ben Wayne, of course, the other Olympian, alongside Marco Tilio on the park tonight. Wayne representing the New Zealand under-23 side at the Tokyo Olympic Games. Here's Sutton, does very well. Sutton, looking for Wayne, too much on it. I'll get another chance though through Pennington. Pennington had the chance to pass it to Elliott there, but took the tougher option. Some of that last pass execution, last cross execution from Wellington letting them down. Griffiths thought he had a free kick, play on the call. Ben Wayne, now Old. Griffiths still down behind play. And another free kick handed out, this time to Old. Griffiths will need some attention though.
You know, talking about that final third, those key passes, those intricate combinations, that defines the best players in the world. You know, having the assuredness, the touch, the composure to combine and create those chances in the final third. But what I do see a lot in Australia is players in wide areas and the lack of quality on crosses. You know, it's an interesting one. We practice it at training, but every time we do a game zappers, we're always talking about the quality from wide areas.
And here's a chance for Pennington to prove us wrong. Here's the ball just outside the area. As we approach half-time in this quarter-final of the FFA Cup. Melbourne City with the best chance of the game from the penalty spot, which they missed. Here's Pennington to the far post. Flag goes up. Ball in the back of the net by Sotirio, but the offside flag was raised as the ball was played back. The assistant on the near side was quick to raise his flag, and Wellington thought they might have had the lead.
Well, it's either very good defending and well organised or a mistime run there from the Wellington striker, but great execution, that little spin around the back, and obviously a header back across the box, very dangerous, but must have held their line really, really well, Melbourne City.
One of those set pieces, no doubt, that the Wellington Phoenix had worked on at the training ground. It was almost perfectly executed. That'll give him some encouragement though.
Yeah, listen, they're well and truly in this game. If you look at the balance in terms of possession and quality with it, they've been very good in this attacking half.
Must have been from that first header across.
Yeah, that first one. So he's obviously spun around. I think it may have well been ball. He obviously spun out too early. And as I said, Melbourne City being organised and held that line.
Ball does well to fight and win position in the midfield. Here's Old. Receiving from Ben Wayne. Trickles over. And it'll be another corner kick to the Wellington Phoenix. They continue to pile on the pressure just before half-time.
Yeah, they're finishing strong, and a few weeks ago when we called a game together, Wellington Phoenix, a lot of short corners, so it'll be interesting to see if they actually factor that into the last couple of minutes now.
Yeah, Reno Piscopo was the one that would execute those normally. He's missing from the side tonight. Lewis now with the opportunity. Plays it to the far post again, nodded back. Pucciarelli with the clearance. And it's deflected out for another corner, this time on the opposite. FFA Cup semi-final draw will be coming up in the next few days as well. Tomorrow at midday, in fact. Streamed live on the official FFA Cup Facebook page. Here's another corner for Wellington at the near post. Jamison clears it away. As we tick over the 45-minute mark now. So don't forget, tomorrow, semi-final draw for the FFA Cup on the FFA Facebook page. Simon Hill and Tarek Elrich will conduct the draw. Two winners tonight will join Central Coast in the semis, with the other to be determined between the winners of Sydney FC and Brisbane Roar. Here's Tillio as we approach half-time. Do they have a chance? They don't here. Wellington goalkeeper Alex Paulson hasn't had a lot to do in the first half. And there is the whistle to end a very entertaining first 45 minutes here at Kingston Heath in Melbourne's southeastern suburbs. Wellington Phoenix taking it to the A-League champions, Melbourne City, with the best opportunity missed by the captain Scott Jamison, who skied his penalty over the crossbar. So half-time here in the FFA Cup quarter-final. It's Melbourne City 0, Wellington Phoenix 0. Welcome back to Kingston Heath for this quarter-final of the FFA Cup. Melbourne City and the Wellington Phoenix. An entertaining first half of football despite the scoreline 0-0 at half-time. Scott Miller is with me in commentary, and Ufuk Talay would be probably the happier of the two coaches at half-times.
I'd have to agree with you there. I think he'll be walking off the pitch, albeit, conceding a dubious penalty. We obviously agree with the referee, but he'll be happier. They're building up well. They're not only wasting possession in the back third, they're getting in the advanced areas and combining and playing well. On the flip side, Paddy Kaznorbo's obviously looking, here's the penalty now as we just have a look at it.
Yeah, Marco Tilio making the run and receiving that little nudge from Kellen Elliott, and the referee deciding, Ben Abraham, that it was a penalty. Scott Jamieson scored a penalty in the grand final for Melbourne City last year in the A-League men's competition. He put this one over the crossbar. Be disappointed with that.
Yeah, big time. Obviously, you get these opportunities, but another situation at the other end there. Wayne diving header, potential touch from the central defender, but obviously not.
And this one disallowed for offside. So the ball played across the face of goal. Josh Sotirio looked onside. It would have been from that first header, which came across, I think, was it from David Ball? Yeah,
it was from David Ball. He obviously went a little bit too early. There may have been a block in there, that situation. A pretty, routine sort of set piece. A striker gets a block on, and you make that run around the back, making that hook run and obviously header back across the box.
Here are the possession stats for that first half. Melbourne City with 55% of the ball. 4 shots to 2 in favour of the Wellington Phoenix. 1 each on target. 3 corners apiece. And 10 fouls committed by Melbourne City, 4 by the Wellington Phoenix, and the 1 yellow card to speak of. There were plenty of willing challenges going in both sides, but Ben Abraham, the referee, really letting things go in this quarter-final. Melbourne City, of course, have won this competition once back in 2016. Wellington Phoenix have never got this far in the FFA Cup, so it will be a big achievement for them to make the semi-final.
Yeah, superb. I mean, to get this far with the restrictions they're living with at the moment, they've got to go for it now. Obviously, possession fairly even, but what I like about their performance tonight is where they're playing. It's not back third build-up. They're getting into, Pennington in the middle park and Lewis, and they're dictating those terms. Their system's working well. They've got that overload with ball coming inside, and they're really playing quite well.
Plenty more to come here from Kingston Heath with the quarter-final of the FFA Cup, Melbourne City versus Wellington Phoenix. We'll be back with plenty more right after this.
Big shooting off the post. Another opportunity for Steinman. Looks to cut it back to Ivanovic. Gets on the score sheet. The debutant in behind here, winding up, putting it away.
Guasil's alongside. Tapeldo might not need him. It's all over.
Finding Farina, putting it away. Finding Beakers, takes the touch, settles himself, shoots, and what a strike.
Ronaldo with time to measure it in, and there is the opening goal. And a chance here, they've equalised.
Demi will stay on side and get in behind. He has Muljuznic inside of him and tucking it away. Decent link up. And now the strike, it is 2-0. And Lockie Scott makes it 3-0 for the Wollongong Wolves.
From long range, Stephen Ugarkovic with an absolute thunderbolt. Pushing it as far forward as we've seen him tonight. What a cracking strike! Get to the ball, he does, he keeps it in. Cut back for Duggan, equaliser for Port Melbourne. Bingham, they're lining up, Bosdugan, Bingham, winner! Here's Atkinson now with the ball across, and there it is. O'Neill. Atkinson with the intricate flick. Oh, and that is a special goal. And it's Benny and Kalolo who scores. And now Noon and Lockie Rose. The goals are flowing. Daniel Pena with the strike, and it is an absolute rocket. Latin, and now Parkhouse, whose shot is deflected, and it's in. Let's see what he can do here, because here comes Sydney FC. A great chance. Burgess. The run to the back post, it's well spotted. The header down, and it's goal number 3. A little bit uneven and wobbly in places, which is why they're going to have a goal. Oh! How about that? 38 seconds on the clock. This is going to be the captain. Off the victory head, and Anasmo will scramble it over the line on the follow-up. Goddard, who takes this
drives it in, and this time they have the goal.
Raphael. Bucciarelli with a great ball in.
Squeezes it, and the strike finally.
Field up Benton. Ben Wayne is there.
Now just getting it out is Romero.
We don't go into extra time, but at the moment, won't be the case.
Diaz spots Margos off his line. It's an absolute stunner.
Mercedes. His cross, dinking back post, the header, back across the face of goal. And Sydney come again, and Sydney have their second.
All set for the second half of this quarter-final of the FFA Cup. Melbourne City and the Wellington Phoenix live from the Kingston Heath complex in the southeastern suburbs of Melbourne. An entertaining first half of football. Chances for both sides. A goal disallowed for the Wellington Phoenix. A penalty missed for Melbourne City. What will the second half present? Melbourne City get us underway through Tilio. Now Galloway. Melbourne City, first game competitive football since the 18th of December in that cracking derby just before Christmas. Tilio loses his feet, gives away the foul. All but 5 of the Melbourne City players impacted by COVID over the last couple of weeks, so it'll be interesting to see how they run out the game. Patrick Kisnorbo speaking at his pre-game press conference yesterday, saying he just doesn't know what to expect in terms of conditioning. Some players hit harder than others by the COVID infection, and they've only just returned to training a week ago, a staggered return. Some players getting more training minutes in than others, but he does have the luxury of Matthew Leckie, Aidan O'Neill, Taras Gamulka, Stefan Kolikovski, Connor Metcalf and Anthony Lesiotis on the substitutes bench tonight for Melbourne City. Wellington Phoenix, James McGarry, Louis Fenton, Curtis Mogg, George Ott and Jackson Manuel. So when you look at the difference on the bench, it's chalk and cheese.
Yeah, he's got fantastic depth there, but also quality as well. So there's no doubt within the next 15-20 minutes we're potentially going to see Leckie coming into those wide areas, and then obviously O'Neill maybe back into midfield just to get a bit more control of that mid-third as well.
There's Alex Paulson, who just laboured on it for a microsecond too long. Marco Tilio was making the chase. Laws with the clearance, only as far as Nuno Reich. Stokes. Jamison plays a long-ranging ball, looking for Boss. And Jordan Boss playing in that left wing role tonight. We've seen him play at left back as well in his A-League career. Made several appearances over the last few months. Another opportunity for one of the younger players of the squad to get some valuable game time tonight. Paulson. Header away by Berringer, straight back to the Wellington goalkeeper, who made his A-League debut just a couple of weeks ago. Subbed on for the injured Ollie Sale. Because we've seen some young goalkeepers make their debuts this year in the FFA Cup and in the A-League men's competition. Here's David Ball. Had 2 to beat, couldn't find any gap there. Austin Griffiths wins it back for Melbourne City. Played back to Tommy Glover. Patient build up out of the back now for Tilio. Manages to get a foot in and finds Galloway. Tilio shrugs off the challenge of Pennington. Here's Jamison. Coming inside, as we've seen him do so often. Now Galloway for Naboot. Melbourne City really haven't had too many times the opportunity to release Andrew Naboot, where he's at his most dangerous on the counter-attack, running at players. He finds some space here. Naboot tries to get things moving to rebound off Tilio. Still with a chance there for Boss. Takes a deflection. And that's an easy one for Alex Poulsen.
No, that's better. You know, Paddy Kaznorbo's message at halftime would have been centre-backs being higher in the build-up, playing more in their attacking half, maintaining possession and putting a lot more pressure on the back four of Wellington.
Strong header won by Kellen Elliott, only as far as Melbourne City's Scott Jamieson. And the pass missed by Berenguer. Wellington Phoenix making this stage of the competition with a resounding win over Avondale here in Victoria. Ball played forward now for Old. He got Glover, read it well, came off his line. And they put that game to bed pretty early, Wellington. Josh Sotirio scoring the first couple inside the first 15 minutes. Ben Wayne getting on the score sheet as well. 3-0 early up, and then Avondale having a player sent off, making it very difficult for Zoran Markovski's side to come back into the game. To be fair to them, they put up a great fight in the second half. But the damage was done early. Melbourne City also successful at that same venue against Hume City at ABD Stadium. So Ball's played in for Sotirio. Here's a great chance for David Ball. And Melbourne City get out of trouble. Pucciarelli with the clearance. Ball shot blocked just in the nick of time. Rufer. Promising signs for Wellington at the start of this second half. Here's Josh Laws. Lewis. Nice pass now for Ball. Sutton. Forced back. Pucciarelli doing the pressing now. Wellington switching it from side to side. Rufer goes long. Looking for Sotirio. We know he's quick. He has Ben Wayne inside. And the challenge comes from Kieran Stokes that time and puts it over the line for another corner kick to the Wellington Phoenix.
Yeah, very good play. A lot more patience in their build-up. You see Lewis dropping into a third centre-back that allows their Wellington Phoenix fullbacks to actually engage higher up the field as well. But interesting, Ufuk Tully in the second half here, they've actually gone over the top, more direct 2 or 3 times in the early stages.
You can see the corner flag blowing in the wind. Quite gusty out here tonight at Kingston Heath. Lewis with the corner. Swinging in, dangerous one. Chance now, the ball comes back inside the area. Griffiths clears it for Melbourne City. Here's Ben Old. And it falls Wellington's way again. Just some sustained pressure here from the Knicks. Rufer. Now Laws. Pennington comes deep. Now makes the run. Some miscommunication between the two there. Old and Pennington. It falls for Pennington. Now Laws. Here's Lewis. Rufer. Plays it out wide, and that one cut out that time by Jordan Boss. Another throw in for the Knicks as they continue this promising start to the second half. It's been all Wellington in the first 10 minutes. Long one looking for Ben Wayne. Too much on it. This is one of 2 quarterfinals to be contested tonight in the FFA Cup. one of the other Melbourne teams involved this evening. Melbourne victory up against Adelaide United in Adelaide. That game is at half-time now, and Adelaide United have the lead there by 1-0 at half-time, thanks to Craig Goodwin. Ball, wants the free kick and he'll get it.
It's Lewis for me here. He's sitting at the base of the midfield there, and Tilio's unsure whether or not he should engage him or press him, and that's why they're getting so much of the ball in the mid-third here.
Tussle there will see Melbourne City win the free kick. Kellen Elliott, who gave away that penalty in the first half, putting in the challenge there for him. Berenguer. Is there much in there? Oh, there he goes. That late one.
But to be fair, when a player stands on the ball, I think it's inviting a bit of pressure, isn't it?
Not much in this one at all. Wellington really taking it to the A-League champions, Melbourne City, tonight. It's been a disappointing start to the campaign in the A-League men's competition for Wellington, under very difficult circumstances, it should be added. Of course, Wellington Phoenix unable to play any games at home in Wellington due to the border restrictions. Being based in New South Wales and travelling up and down most weeks all over the country, mainly to Victoria. They've been here almost every other week. Here's Naboot now. Nice ball for Tilio. Tilio met by Alex Rufer. Stuck the foot out, stood his ground, Rufer. And won the ball back for his side.
No, that's poor. There was a pass on there, a little key pass behind the centre-back. And Bose is in. He's got to see those passes if he's going to play that sort of 9/10 position.
Glover, early release. There's another foul, this time going in favour of Melbourne City. And then we'll leave some of the pressure because they've been under the pump a little bit in these first 10 minutes of the second half. Naboot. Tilio will try his range. And well off the mark there, Marco Tilio. Have you seen his game tonight? We've seen him play on the wing, mainly in his A-League career. We've seen him play in that position for the Olyroos as well. Tonight he's playing almost that false 9 as Patrick Isnorbo tries to shuffle his resources around.
Yeah, well, firstly, out of possession, he looks a bit lost at times. He's obviously dropping into the holding midfielders to support them as well, but obviously Lewis is dropping off, so his structure out of possession is a lot more complicated for him. With the ball, I think we need to see more. He's creative, but he needs to start seeing those passes as well. Patrick Isnorbo will want that, him getting on the half turn and driving at the centre-back.
Matthew Leckie, of course, on the bench, the Socceroo. Melbourne City fans would love to see him come on at some point this evening. What a player to have at your disposal. Stefan Kolikovsky, of course, also at the other end of the spectrum, an exciting player. Just starting his professional career. Here's Pucciarelli. Now Andrew Naboot in space. This is where he's at his most dangerous. Some good footwork. Gets the ball into the far post. The header just wide of the mark. That was better from Melbourne City.
You know, committed play by Naboot there. Fantastic, taking on the fullback. Great little cutback. What a fantastic header.
Just got himself tangled up a little bit. Lost half a second. Andrew Naboot there, and header was difficult one for Jordan Boss to execute. He was
very difficult,
backpedaling and needed to stretch those neck muscles as far as they could go. Some movement on the Melbourne City bench, just as we mentioned Matthew Leckie. I think it might be the Socceroo to make his way onto the park. The first substitution of the evening as we approach the 1 hour mark. Pucciarelli, Naboot. Looking to return it to the Italian. Galloway. Stokes. Done a good job tonight, Kieran Stokes. Here's Naboot again. And he'll go. The Socceroo, Andrew Naboot. Crosses the ball in, wins another corner kick. Deflection coming off Sam Sutton that time.
Really prevalent tonight from Jamison. That diagonal ball, 1v1 Naboot, using his pace and power to get beyond the left fullback.
So Patrick Kisnorbo preparing his first substitutions for the evening. Looks like Connor Metcalf and Matthew Leckie testing our eyesight from this position, but we'll confirm that in a moment as the corner kick is about to be executed on the near side. Pucciarelli, a short one. Receiving from Tilio. They'll have another go. This time, Tilio puts both hands up in the air, a variation, goes to the far post. You know, Reishi's there, he gets connection, but good pressure on him, and that's a goal kick. So, first substitution of the evening for Melbourne City, and as suspected, it will be Connor Metcalf and Matthew Leckie to come on. Florian Berenguer will make his way off. And Andrew Naboot will take a break as well. One of Melbourne City's more dangerous players, Andrew Naboot, in this game. But Patrick Kisnorbo obviously needs to manage his squad, and they've got a game coming up on Sunday against Western Sydney. And Matthew Leckie will move into that role on the wing.
Yeah, pretty like for like Leckie for Naboot in terms of pace, power, playing wide, different variation as well.
Great to see Matthew Leckie back on the park. He did miss the Melbourne derby with a slight hamstring injury. I know there's a lot of love for FFA Cup and the competition, Scott. And one of the great elements of this competition has been going out to suburban grounds and sampling the food. And just a word on the food tonight, magnificent. I did partake in the souvlaki offering just before kick-off. There's a bit of chatter about that on social media. Yeah, some people saying that they weren't a fan of the bread roll, but I can tell you it was very good. Compliments to the chef.
No, that's the best thing about this this competition, the accessibility.
Had some terrific footwork from David Ball. Releasing down the right-hand side now for the Knicks. Here's Old. Pennington. They work it well, and they win. No, they don't. I thought it might have been a corner. That's a throw-in, a goal kick for Melbourne City.
No, once again, good play. It's obviously been working that in the training ground. You know, those front spaces there, that front third quick combination play, very intricate, very challenging. But, you know, continue this way, that will really challenge Melbourne City's back four.
Laws won that 50-50 challenge, but it falls fortuitously for Galloway. Ball on the halfway line. Off Pucciarelli. He thought it might have come off, but we were at a very good position there. I agree with the Italian on that occasion. Pucciarelli took a touch and it deflected off David Ball's shin. So he can feel aggrieved, the Italian. And then Pucciarelli gives away a free kick for the foul on Pennington. Perhaps they could share some words in Italian. Nick Pennington, born in Italy. Pucciarelli goes into the book for it, perhaps arguing back.
You know, I wouldn't mind seeing Tilio come out to this right-hand side and Matthew Leckie go up as a 9. I'm just looking at their forward penetration. Tilio's not making those forward runs. He's dropping in, and the penetration's only coming from the wide areas. Maybe a little bit of a variety might upset Wellington.
Nice pass for David Ball. Now Sotirio needs to go here. Has Nuno Reis to beat. Josh Sotirio finds some space. Gets a cross in. Now Elliott tries to win it back. In a tangle there, Elliott with Scott Jamieson. He's pretty strong. He's the Melbourne City captain, and he comes up trumps on that occasion. Well played for Tilio, but swept up by Josh Laws, who's done a terrific job tonight in the centre of defence for the Wellington Phoenix. So still nothing separates these two sides in this quarter-final. 65 minutes gone. Tilio. Rufer read that one really well, and he wins the free kick for Wellington. Alex Rufer went into the game last weekend as the captain against Adelaide United. Taken off at half-time. Ufuk Tele was asked about that, said it was just a tactical switch, but always eyebrows raised when you're wearing the captain's armband and then you're pulled off at half-time.
Yeah, never easy to do as a coach either, but whether or not it was a tactical thing and they changed the system, who knows? You know, it's never easy as a coach to take someone off at half-time, but sometime you have to do it to change the rhythm, more importantly, and obviously the system and style.
He's done a good job tonight, Alex Rufer. Here's some space now for Galloway. As Leckie in support, goes inside instead for Pucciarelli. Now Leckie finds Galloway in some space. Here's Griffiths, doesn't score too many. Thought about the shot, decided to pass it off to Scott Jamieson. Now Boss and Griffiths. Galloway providing the option wide. Now Leckie inside the area. They maintain possession, perhaps with a little bit of luck associated. Galloway. Leckie looks up. Recycles through Stokes. Now central ball played in the Leckie direction. Pucciarelli v Ball, and Clayton Lewis says, let's just get this out of danger for now. Belts it forward, and that's a foul. Free kick to Wellington on the halfway line. Ben Waine. Another couple of substitutions now for Patrick Kisnorbo's side. Manuel Pucciarelli, I think, will be the one coming off.
Yeah, ineffective for me tonight in terms of where he picked up the ball. No key passes in behind, no real key passes in terms of threat. But, you know, Paddy Kisnorbo want more from his attacking players now, getting on the half turn and driving the gap to support Tilio. He may well change the structure as well and dropping a striker off, but let's see how he adapts the system.
Lesiotis coming on. Connor Metcalf doing the chasing there, one of the other substitutes to make his way onto the park. Here's Lesiotis with his first touch. Nuno Reis. Aidan O'Neill was the other one that has come on for Melbourne City. Pretty handy to have those players coming on. Here's David Ball for Wellington though. Works it inside, deflected. A great chance here for Wellington, looped over the top. And another good chance goes begging. Just a miscue there. David Ball getting into a dangerous position. And the shot coming off the side of the foot. No trouble for Tommy Glover as Tilio makes a run forward. He gets to the ball first. Marco Tilio. Alex Paulson comes off his line. He makes contact with Marco Tilio. What's the decision here? A yellow card.
Wow.
To Marco Tilio.
I'm in disbelief. Goalkeeper's out of his area. Must have been contact as we see the simple pass over the top. One-on-one. Hard to tell from this angle, Michael.
I thought there might have been some contact from Alex Paulson as he went to clear the ball, but the referee didn't see it that way and perhaps thought that Marco Tilio made too much of it.
Yeah, maybe potentially. Obviously, he made the contact with the goalkeeper as opposed to the other way, but very fortunate for the young goalkeeper of Wellington Phoenix.
He almost had to commit there, didn't he? Like he was in a position where he knew he wasn't going to win the race to the ball.
Yeah, but no man's land. As a goalkeeper, you're thinking, right, what are you doing? You're a midfielder now watching that unfold and you're thinking, get back in your goal. Get back in your goal.
It was Route 1 stuff from Patrick Kisnorbo's side. Not something that would have come out of the tactical playbook, that's for sure. Sometimes. Doesn't matter how you score them, especially in the cup tie.
Certainly not tonight. I'm just looking at Royston Griffiths going back to left side centre back. 2 substitutes in the middle of the park. Paddy Kisnorbo is going to want a lot more from his 2 holding midfielders with tempo, playing the pass forward and combining and supporting those attacks.
Just get the sense that this game is about to reach its crescendo. Melbourne City have played their big cards off the bench. As we tick over to 72 minutes played. Of course, if the game does finish scoreless after 90 minutes, we go to extra time. As Melbourne City try and finish it in the 90 minutes. Galloway, as we've seen on more than one occasion tonight, skied over the crossbar.
Well, standing right behind that now, we're thinking just hit it as hard as you can and direct, but he went with the inside of the foot, didn't get his head over the ball, and obviously it's probably still travelling on their 18th hole somewhere over the back on the golf course here.
We've mentioned golf a few times tonight.
I know you're a golfer.
There's a couple of keen golfers out there. And Ben Old played on the circuit as a youngster. Scott Jamieson fancies himself, as does Royston Griffiths. They can both play. And we're in the Melbourne sand belt here. Josh Sotirio handled the ball there. It took a while for the referee to see it, but he finally blew the whistle. Yeah, some of Melbourne's best golf courses around us here tonight, but a pretty decent football pitch we're playing on this evening in the quarter-final of the FFA Cup. Nothing separates them. Melbourne City, the champions of the A-League men's competition and the winners of this competition in 2016. Can they make the semi-final? Connor Metcalf to Jamieson. Now Leckie. Great ball in, too close to the keeper. Just needed a touch. Marco Tilio was making a run. And Alex Paulson watches it fall into his gloves and says thank you.
That was a fantastic ball, very well worked. You know, putting pressure on the back four of Wellington, but, you know, penetrating with more of a purpose. A great ball in.
Connor Metcalf making an instant impact. Aidan O'Neill as well, winning that ball. Both exciting young players. Aidan O'Neill feels like he's been around forever as well, just 23 years of age. Of course, he made his English Premier League debut, only made a handful of appearances for Burnley in the Premier League, then spent some time at Oldham and Fleetwood. You know English football pretty well.
No, that's great experience. Not an easy league to play in. Very, very combative. You know, 3 games a week at times as well. So at 24, you know, it's a lot of training, a lot of games at that level.
And he signed with Melbourne City, decided to come back to Australia. Had an opportunity to extend his contract at Burnley, but he was going to be loaned out, and he thought, well, this is a better option for me. And here they come again. This is a terrific opportunity for Boss. Just took a heavy touch. It was there. That was the moment for Jordan Boss.
And that's what I've been talking about all night. Already the energy of the midfield, 2 substitutions coming on, but Tilio, the main man there, getting on the half turn and finding those passes. That's what he is there for. The penetration will always come from the wide players in this area.
That would have been the highlight of his young career. Young Jordan Boss. Just a touch heavy.
Yep. Way to pass, superb from Tilio. Outstanding.
Melbourne City have swung the pendulum in their favour in the last 10 minutes. They have the momentum. Can they find the goal? Pennington wins the free kick for Wellington. Takes it quickly. Very smart indeed. Ben Wayne's in front position. And that's a desperate and a beautifully timed challenge by Nuno Reis. This is end-to-end stuff here in the FFA Cup quarter-final.
What a covering block that was. You see Royce Griffiths being caught out of position. Opposite centre-back. Stokes there. Bang. Over he comes. What a cover. Race, my apologies. Fantastic, fantastic block.
Nuno Reis needed all of his experience there. Ben Wayne was in, and he can finish, the young striker. Here's the corner kick now for Wellington. In swinging, dangerous one. Headed away by Nuno Reis again. Another corner to Wellington. Anyone's game in this one. Both sides creating opportunities. Set piece now, near post this time. Still plenty of Wellington shirts. Pennington plays a good ball into Ben Wayne. And Wayne's header wide of the mark. They keep knocking on the door, the Knicks.
Both teams really stretched now. You see them actually creating a lot more chances. Quite an entertaining game now. Who's going to take the initiative?
And they'll both want to settle this one in 90 minutes, given the heavy schedule coming up. And the lack of football, especially for Melbourne City leading into this contest. Nuno Reis, terrific release. Here's Aidan O'Neill. Now Galloway had the right idea. First time ball, looking to play it into the dangerous area. And well covered by Sam Sutton. Another corner kick, this time at the other end of the park.
O'Neill's certainly changed the rhythm, hasn't he, in terms of that holding midfielder. He's spraying those balls left and right and controlling the tempo, unlike Royce and Griffiths in there that tended to turn backwards a lot and play through a lot slower tempo.
So Tilio will take the corner kick. 2 hands up. Does that indicate far post? It does. Poulsen comes off his line. Had a few players in his way. Did well to get a fist on it in heavy traffic. Young Alex Poulsen. Out on the opposite side now. For another one. This time a short one. The header just deflected away. Austin Griffiths it was who made contact. Not enough contact. Laws chased down. Throw in Wellington. Ufuk-Talay hasn't gone to his bench yet.
Quite remarkable, really, considering the intensity of the game and the lack of games they have had in terms of overall throughout the season. But he may well be going to it soon, especially in the attacking half.
Pennington skips around one. Keeps going, Nick Pennington. That's a terrific play. the final pass just lets him down. Yeah, it's a fairly young-looking bench, apart from Louis Fenton. He's the most experienced player. James McGarry, Louis Fenton, Curtis Mogg, George Ott and Jackson Manuel. Most of those players coming from the academy at Wellington. Pennington, nice ball for Old. Turns inside and wins the foul.
Yeah, great play. Starts from the centre back, having that vision, beating that first press with a little clip over the top. Technical attributes, the young player there on the half turn.
Ball into the near post, managed by Griffiths. Melbourne City with a chance to clear again. Long ball looking for Tilio. Paulson will win this race and does well, the young keeper. Read that one better. So 80 minutes gone here, still nil between Melbourne City and the Wellington Phoenix. This is the quarter-final of the FFA Cup. Semi-final draw to take place tomorrow. 1-1 in the other quarter-final being played tonight between Adelaide United and Melbourne Victory. Melbourne Victory getting an equaliser through Josh Brillante. So both games going down to the wire. Semi-final draw will occur tomorrow at midday. Streamed live on the official FFA Cup Facebook page. Simon Hill and Tarek Elrich will conduct the draw. The two winners from tonight will join the Central Coast Mariners in the semi-finals. The other semi-finalists will be determined next week when Sydney play Brisbane Roar. We're down to the pointy end of the FFA Cup. Of course, a big prize in this competition this year, which hasn't existed in previous season, is the winner wins an automatic entry into the Asian Champions League.
Yeah, and that's a big draw card, isn't it? You think commercially for the club, opportunities to develop players as well, and exposing them to that level of competition. You just feel the last couple of minutes the game's lost a little balance and rhythm. Which team's going to take the initiative and control the ball in the middle of the park? You know, Wellington obviously haven't gone back to their subs yet. Is it time potentially to reinvigorate the squad physically?
Yeah, Ufuk Tele about to make his first substitution. Perhaps he's listening to us, Scott. Good press by Wellington, still working hard. Ben Old will be the one to make way. He's put in a terrific shift. Here's Laws. Another throw in. James McGarry, the substitute for the Wellington Phoenix, coming on with just a few minutes remaining in this FFA Cup tie. Remember, if we're all tied at 90 minutes, we go to extra time. Here they come through Leakey. Can he win this one? 50-50 contest. Matt Leakey trying to use that very big frame of his. He does. Matt Leakey now plays the ball in. And just in that contest, Sam Sutton just going down, holding his knee. Let's hope it's not serious. The big frame of Matthew Leakey, physically too strong there, and just knocking Sutton off balance. Back up on his feet, which is good to see.
He's had to deal with 60 minutes of Naboo and now Lecky.
It's a big ask, isn't it?
Young boy, yeah, definitely. Pace and power of those two. He's obviously quite slight, you know, mobility and speed, but that physical contact at times can really fatigue you.
So another couple of changes now. One for Melbourne City. With Jordan Boss, who had a terrific opportunity to score a little earlier in this half, coming off the park. And Stefan Kolakovsky, who can score a goal. We'll get a few minutes here, at least. Wellington also making a change. And it is Sutton who comes off for the Wellington Phoenix. Here's Nuno Raish. And Griffiths being chased by Ben Waine. He's worked hard all night, Ben Waine. Tommy Glover just panicked momentarily. Got his pass away quickly. And that's good pressure from Wellington. They're continuing to press.
Yeah, that's great energy at this point. Last couple of minutes of obviously sensing the rhythm of the game. They have got a chance, but, you know, Melbourne City in the attacking half, and now they're defending a throw-in in their own attacking half.
Josh Laws. David Ball. Forced back. Metcalf and O'Neill putting the pressure on then. Through the middle. Wayne looking for the free kick, doesn't get it. Here's Metcalf. Metcalf with time to consider his next move. Lecky cuts inside. Matthew Lecky tries the shot. Blocked. Falls for Sotirio. Just took a little too long, Josh Sotirio.
O'Neill, for me, has made a massive difference in the middle of the park. Not only in transition there defensively, but his key passes forward, he's driving them through that midthird.
And he won that one back for Melbourne City, Aiden O'Neill. Sharp pass inside for Galloway. Back to O'Neill. Now Nuno Raish. Switches play for Scott Jamieson, I should say. Metcalf receives it, now plays it out wide for Tilio. And it just breaks down. Great to see a good crowd here at Kingston Heath. All tickets which were allocated for tonight were exhausted, so Melbourne City fans having to go online and pre-book tonight. All the tickets gone. A great atmosphere here for this quarter-final of the FFA Cup as we approach the 90-minute mark. All tied up. Here's a chance for Wellington to get forward. McGarry, the substitute. Sotirio plays it across. Golden opportunity on the penalty spot. Put wide of the mark, and that was perhaps the best chance of the night. And it fell to Louis Fenton.
Well, that was the one. Last 2 minutes of the game, you've got Wayne standing there, his legs back, he's ready to connect with the ball. Fenton out of nowhere takes it off him. That was a golden opportunity for Wellington.
Now at the other end, Galloway, plenty ahead of him. Kolakovsky just behind him and cleared out of danger.
You know, and this is where they're missing Jamie McLaren tonight. He's that focal point, that 9, making those runs in behind, you know, being that solid structure and giving them that platform to play off.
Louis Fenton, was it a lack of communication, as you saw, and as you called, Scott? Ben Waine was waiting.
He was off.
His eyes lit up. His eyes lit up, the young striker. Could have taken all the glory. And Louis Fenton just on the park. Thought he may have been better placed and miscued the shot. Best chance of the night for the Wellington Phoenix. Goes begging with minutes remaining. Are we set for extra time? 1-1 in the other quarter-final between Melbourne and Adelaide. 0-0 between Melbourne City and Wellington Phoenix. As we approach the 90-minute mark, will there be a dramatic end to this one? Melbourne City have a corner. 90 minutes gone now. 3 minutes to be added. Three additional minutes for one of these sides to find a winner, to put them through to the semi-final of the FFA Cup. Corner kick over the line. The flag goes up, went out, and then came back in. Spotted by the assistant on the near side. Both teams have had a chance to win this. Cast our minds back to the first half. Scott Jamieson, the Melbourne City captain, missing a penalty. Won by Marco Tilio, putting it over the crossbar. Wellington Phoenix having a goal disallowed for offside. Also in the first half, and Louis Fenton with the best chance of this second stanza. Just minutes ago. Glover plays it forward. Too long.
Just an example there, Royce and Griffiths rolling out, risk averse late in the game, but I see Brendan O'Neill there. He's making those, O'Neill there making those second angles on the back of their first press. He's got to be more authoritative in terms of passing those balls into midfield in the later stages.
Nice pass here, and some room for Wellington through McGarry. Galloway closes him down. McGarry releases it early. Chested down by Sotirio. He had the right idea. The level of difficulty was high. They maintain possession. Pennington. Rufer. Now to Laws. Lewis. Dispossessed. Now Melbourne with a chance. Metcalf played it quickly. O'Neill, I should say. They lose it though, Melbourne City. Wellington come again. Ball played inside the area, the header. Easy one for Tom Glover. As Wayne was making his way back, away from goal. There is the full-time whistle. So we go to extra time, 2 15-minute halves here at the Kingston Heath Sporting Complex. After 90 minutes of football, these sides can't be separated. So the full-time score here in the quarter-final of the FFA Cup is Melbourne City 0, Wellington Phoenix 0. Great 90 minutes of football, Scott. Both teams had chances to win it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's probably the last thing they actually want to do and go and play another 30 minutes at this stage. Physical fatigue, limited squad depth for Ufuk Tully there. Made a lot of changes, both teams now. So it's down to the men on the park now to actually get this result. As you said, Michael, numerous chances each end. Some clear cut, some obviously a bit more difficult, but which team's going to go out? I think tactically Melbourne City need to use the width a little bit more. Lecky's making forward penetrating runs too early. Why not keep your width, penetrate and create more space in that final third? As for Wellington, now playing a bit deeper, compressing the ball and obviously playing on the counter-attack.
So Patrick Kisnorbo has already brought on Matt Leckie, Aidan O'Neill, Stefan Kolakowski, Connor Metcalf and Anthony Lesiotis. 5 substitutions. James McGarry, Louis Fenton have come on for the Wellington Phoenix. So few more opportunities for Ufuk Tele's side off the substitutes bench.
You know, and that's going to be the benefit now where he makes those changes. Obviously, it's going to have to be in the attacking half unless someone gets injured. Looking at the stats here, Melbourne City obviously dominating possession marginally, but, you know, 7 shots apiece and obviously 1 on target for Wellington Phoenix. But you know what? They've had a couple of chances there where I think just that key decision-making would have been far better.
We'll take a short break and be back with extra time right after this. Welcome back to Kingston Heath. We're about to enter extra time. 0-0 after 90 minutes in this quarter-final of the FFA Cup between Melbourne City, winners of the competition in 2016, and the Wellington Phoenix, who have never made it this far. So referee Ben Abraham gets us underway in the first half of extra time. 2 15-minute halves. And if we're level again after the 30 minutes, we go to the penalty shootout. There's a handball on Sotirio. Not paid. Advantage given to Melbourne City. We'll play back for Glover. It was a tricky one for Tommy Glover. Had to be very careful there. It was bouncing. Had a bit of speed on it. Testing out the Melbourne City goalkeeper, Sotirio, who's been busy tonight. You know, Race clears it. And Matthew Leckie, who came on as a substitute with half an hour remaining, gets the final touch there. Been almost a month without football for Matthew Leckie. As Melbourne Victory take the lead in the other quarter-final. They were trailing 1-0 thanks to a Craig Goodwin goal after 33 minutes. Josh Brillante equalised after 62, and Francesco Margiotta, the Italian, converting from the penalty spot to make it 2-1 to Melbourne Victory. 5 minutes remaining there. Can Melbourne City do the same here at Kingston Heath and take the advantage? Melbourne fans would love a Melbourne derby for a final, wouldn't they? There's a few steps to take between now and then, but a Melbourne derby and an FFA Cup final. Here's Nuno Raish. Now Scott Jamieson. Plays a curving ball in, looking for Leckie. Laws headed it away. Jamieson will get another chance here. This time he goes wide. Connor Metcalf. A bit wide with his pass, but remains in play. Jamieson. Metcalf out to Tilio. Now Jamieson whips the ball to the far post. Once again, couldn't find a target. Galloway sweeps up. O'Neill to Galloway, to Leckie. Skips inside Matt Leckie. And can't get through. Good defending. Free kick Wellington.
Yeah, Lucky being ineffective since he's come on. He's finding himself in good areas, but maybe just a bit too slow in terms of his decision making. Obviously, as you said, Michael, that time off, adapting to game speed is obviously quite challenging. But, Kolinovsky up there, if he can actually get on the ball, and Tilio, I'm loving in these wide areas, he's got to get at this fullback more often. And Melbourne City have got to commit more players into the box in that final third.
Fenton, who had a great chance to win it for Wellington with a couple of minutes remaining. Lewis, 50-50 ball, takes a deflection and falls in the favour of Melbourne City. Jamie McLaren not in the side tonight, missing of course through suspension, sent off in that Melbourne derby just before Christmas. That was their last competitive game. Here's Tilio playing out wide now, after he started the game and played the majority of the first 90 minutes in a false 9 role. Looking a lot more dangerous out wide.
Yeah, that suits him, that position. In a 1v1, it's a lot easier. You're seeing the game from one area, receiving from the fullback or your 6 underneath, drive the gap, take that fullback on a lot easier. The positional sense of that 9/10 is so much more difficult for young players.
Here he is, Tilio, with the 2 hands up in the air. We've seen this signal result in a back post delivery. This time it goes centrally. Metcalf. So relaxed on the ball, Connor Metcalf. Now Galloway. Ball inside. Metcalf continued to make a run, but Nix had plenty of numbers back and read it well. Josh Laws has been everywhere tonight. Playing in that heart of the Wellington defence alongside Alex Rufer. Calls of shoot go up for Scott Jamieson. He was tempted and he took the bait. Hits it over the crossbar, as he did his penalty in the first half at the same end.
No, he's been good tonight, albeit the penalty miss and that strike there. He's played with a purpose. He's looked to, really push the team forward. Fantastic passes wide, but Melbourne City at this point really don't have an answer for the deep line block of Wellington. How are they going to penetrate them? Do they need to suck them out with more possession in the mid-third, or that Metcalf run over the top has had some potential in the past?
Rufer wins that battle. Clears the danger. If you're Ufuk Talay here, do you take a conservative approach and not take any risks and perhaps get as close to penalties as you can?
I think you have to. I mean, we speak about the depth he's got on the squad, a lot of young players. He's made a few substitutions already. I think it's about timing for me, Michael, in terms of, maintaining possession when you can and picking your moment, as opposed to going full out for the next 30 minutes or so. Really picking your moment and being more clinical. Whether that's a set piece or not, it's always quite hard to find those opportunities.
Here's Tilio. Wriggles forward, gets into front position, goes over. No foul. Goal kick, Wellington. Yeah, well called by the referee there. James McGarry making front position and cutting off the path to the ball. As Marco Tilio looked to threaten again. Kolikovski with a nice touch, looking for Lecky. Now Tilio. Kolikovski. Tilio with a delivery to the far post and misses the mark. And that, again,
Or is it best to rotate out? It's always difficult. It's always difficult. But it comes down to decision making, especially from wide players. You know, how many have we got in the box? Who have we got in the box? More importantly, and you know, ultimately, what's a defensive organisation like of Wellington Phoenix?
Tommy Glover off his line quickly to thwart the danger. Well, Tim Payne spoke after the Adelaide loss on the weekend that they needed to work harder and win individual battles, and they're doing that tonight. A much improved display from the Wellington Phoenix. They lost to Adelaide United on the weekend, 4-0. It was a disappointing performance. They've answered the critics this evening. Whatever the result, they're fighting to the end. Here's Lewis Fenton. Has the overlapping run for Elliott. And again, just that final ball.
No, they've been organised out of possession all night. Their front third have given Melbourne City challenges. Their back four has been tight and organised. You know, Melbourne City are a strong unit. They play a really well organised structure as well. But, you know, Ufuk Teller will be happy with the structure tonight out of possession. Just at times in that front third with the ball, you know, a little bit more, as I keep saying, a bit more clinical.
Patrick Isnorbo saying in the lead up to this one, it was the most challenging things he's had to deal with in his short time as a senior coach the last fortnight. All but 5 of his players impacted by COVID in the last week or two. The squad only resumed training last week. Not all of the squad could return due to the isolation period. And this extra game time tonight making things even the more challenging, especially for Melbourne City, who haven't had a lot of football. Their last game against Melbourne Victory on the 18th of December. Wellington Phoenix have had games coming thick and fast. So perhaps they are better placed to run out this game. Still a couple of options off the bench for them as well, albeit young players, as Ufuk Teller considers another change.
You know, I've been looking at getting a threat, you know, someone with pace and speed playing off shoulders of Royston Griffiths here. He's obviously playing in that centre midfield role, a lot more demanding and dropping into that left centre back position. If we can get some speed in and around him, I think they could actually find some real opportunity on the back of that.
And there is some movement on the Wellington bench. As Kellen Elliott clears, only as far as Griffiths. Now Nuno Raish. Raish with a long range pass. Cut out Louis Fenton. Now David Ball has some room to work in here. The Englishman. So much experience, 32 years of age. Plays it inside for Clayton Lewis and dispossessed. Now Kolakovsky goes hard. The foul came, though, just before that by Matthew Leckie. Maybe a little bit lucky there.
Very lucky, very lucky. But I'm just looking at the little tactical switch there as they make a substitution. Satirio dropping out to that left-hand side and Ball stepping into here. Maybe the physicality of that roll out there, having to press as well, is obviously quite challenging as he makes way in this game here.
George Ott is the player who'll come on for the Wellington Phoenix.
As we watch that replay there, he doesn't need to do that. Leckie there, he runs through him, cuts him off. Clear foul.
David Ball is the one to make way. Another of the academy players. George Ott, what a moment it is for him. A big striker who topped the scoring charts in the local leagues. Imagine he can score tonight. He'll go down in Wellington Phoenix folklore.
It was interesting. He made his B-way straight onto Royston Griffiths there, getting ball pressure on him more importantly, but he'll have to work off him. I believe that's a real weakness in that area of the park right now for Melbourne City.
21 goals in 18 games for Lower Hutt last season. Big fan of Chris Wood, the New Zealand international. Can the young striker do something special here? Here's a shot on target. Deflected away from Pennington. And Wellington will have a chance to set again as we approach the 15-minute mark. The end of the first half of extra time. Is there time enough for another chance here for the Knicks? Rufer to Elliott. Forced over the line. And that'll be a Melbourne City throw in. That'll be just about it, I reckon, for this first half. Referee checks his watch. Raish. Releasing Tilio. Can't keep it in. He can. Deflected out. Another corner kick. Just enough time for Melbourne City before the end of this first half. Quickly taken the header. Galloway makes front position. Gets his shot away. Plenty of numbers in there for the Knicks. Raish. As time ticks over the 15-minute mark. Griffiths. Nuno Raish. Goes short this time. Lesiotis moves it on quickly. A chance for Leckie. And Matthew Leckie puts his shot wide.
Well worked.
Right on the stroke of half-time, the Socceroo with a glorious opportunity to open the scoring, but it remains 0-0 at the end of the first half of extra time. We go again.
Well, you know, end to end, wasn't it, Michael? Both teams having their moments in the last 15 minutes of dominating possession, creating chances, but just that final ball, as we keep talking about, and that bit of composure in that final third to take the result this evening.
Another short break for the players, just to get final instructions as we enter the final 15 minutes here in this quarter final of the FFA Cup, which goes down to the wire tonight. Wellington Phoenix putting up a great fight against Melbourne City, the A-League men champions, defending winners, of course, of this competition back in 2016. This is one of 2 quarterfinals, of course, being played this evening. And full time in the other game, Adelaide United 1, Melbourne Victory 2. So Melbourne Victory coming from behind, Scott, to make it through to the semi-final. Terrific performance by Tony Popovic's side.
Yeah, that's a great result from them. You know, after last year being in these later stages of the FFA Cup will obviously build momentum for the team. More games gives him the opportunity to get his style of play across and obviously utilise the squad as well, which is really important.
So this one will go down to the wire. An entertaining night of football here at Kingston Heath. The scene of so many dramatic nights in the FFA Cup over the years. Bentley Greens with a great record here. This is their home venue. Melbourne City adopting the venue tonight as their home, as they start to build a presence in the southeastern suburbs of Melbourne. This is part of their strategic play to build an audience and a fan base in this part of Melbourne. This fixture was, of course, originally scheduled for Casey Fields a couple of weeks ago before it had to be postponed. Here's Nuno Reich for Melbourne City. Aidan O'Neill, who came on as one of the substitutes for Patrick Isnorbo, back to Roston Griffiths, who started the game in the midfield, now playing as a central defender. Now to Galloway, who's been there from the get-go. Now Wellington try and clear it, but make a meal of that. Jamison, Tilio, makes a marauding run inside the area. Well-timed challenge, still danger for Wellington. Galloway. Raish stops, looks up, finds Galloway. Patient build-up here by Melbourne City.
Yeah, this has got a slight adaptation of tactics here. Galloway playing a lot higher in the last couple of minutes. You know, really overloading with Leckie going now inside, exposing the left fullback of Wellington here.
Long ball in, will be dealt with easily. James McGarry with the header away for Wellington, but it only finds its way to Nuno Reich. And here's Lesiotis, former Melbourne Victory player, Anthony Lesiotis. Made some senior appearances there, spending time in the youth setup at Victory. Here's Metcalf. Now Jamison looking for O'Neill. Doesn't find a target. Sotirio has space to work in. He loves a bit of open field, Josh Sotirio, but just couldn't get around Lesiotis on that occasion. He's been working hard. He's been on since the start. Perhaps a bit of tiredness starting to creep in for Josh Sotirio.
You know, he was that number 9 to begin with. You know, that first press, getting a lot of press on the ball there, and now he's in the wide area late in the game. More physical, demanding out in these areas.
Leckie, Galloway. Leckie continues his run. Galloway skips inside. Looks at his options at the top of the box. O'Neill spreads it. Jamison looking for Leckie too high. O'Neill did well. Intercepted the ball and finds Leckie. Jamison for Tilio. Promising build-up by Melbourne City. Tilio continues his run. Chooses the wrong option, Marco Tilio. Then Wayne, shoulder to shoulder. No foul, said the assistant out on that far side. Thought it might have been fair.
Really good discipline from Wellington there. Stood Tilio up, showed him back inside, really stayed compact. No one came out of their hole and exposed that space in behind. Very, very disciplined.
So just over 10 minutes remaining Either side scores. They're just about through to the semi-final. If the scoreline remains level, we go to penalties. Don't go anywhere here on 10 play. We're set for a dramatic conclusion to this quarter-final. Can Wellington make it for the first time in the club's history? Laws. Now McGarry. Put under pressure, McGarry. Tilio takes advantage. Kolakovski, can he get on the end of it? He can. Early ball in by Stefan Kolakovski. Behind Matthew Leckie. The Socceroo will try and keep it in play. He does. City continue to press. Roston Griffiths. Aidan O'Neill. They're moving it along quickly now. Tilio. O'Neill to Metcalf. The cry from the crowd said, pull the trigger.
Pull the trigger, I heard that. Yeah. Bit ambitious.
That would have been, yeah.
But you're right.
From distance. They're moving it around well.
They're moving it quicker. There's more purpose. Tilio's a lot more direct. What I'm liking is Metcalf there. See that pass, Michael, behind the centre back there. But penetration. Kolakovski in there. He's making those balls and those runs in behind the centre back and full back now. It's really causing a lot of threat for Wellington.
Here's Nick Pennington. Wellington have put up a great fight this evening. Can they hold on? And you just get the sense that that's what they're doing at the moment, trying to hold on the Wellington Phoenix. Rufer. Back peddling, heads it away. Leckie. Jamison. Leckie short one for Jamison again. Now O'Neill. Tries to find the pass for Galloway. He does. Flag stays down. Nuno Reish. Time to consider his next pass. Patience again. Lesiotis. Reish. Sends it long looking for Leckie. And well defended once more. Kellen Elliott has done an outstanding job tonight. You spoke about the task that he had, the young man, to stop Andrew Naboo for the first 60 minutes. And the next 60 minutes, it's Matthew Leckie.
I know, he's doing well. What I've liked about him is his covering positions for the centre-back as well, knowing when to release to get pressure on those wide players that you spoke about. But you're just watching the last 3 or 4 minutes, Wellington have gone to a standstill now. They're so deep. You know, if they're going to score, it's going to be obviously a worldie and a counter-attack. But, you know, for me, Melbourne City need to slow the rhythm down and then speed it up and actually really pull Wellington back out of their structure if they can.
I know he won't be thinking of this now because he'll have his mind set on the task at hand. There's still 8 minutes of football to be played, but Scott Jamison missed a penalty, if you've just joined us, in the first half of this game. Penalty shootout pending. Does he step up again? Set piece. Near post, deflected away, and that is a goal kick. As the captain of the club, I reckon he does.
Oh, you've got to, and he will. Yeah, I mean, I don't know him personally. I think you do. I've seen you do some work with him on your podcast. You probably understand his mentality a little bit more, but he will. There's no doubt. He's too experienced not to.
Yeah, I reckon he's either the first or the fifth. Scott Jamison.
I would be going first.
Yeah, wanting to put it aside.
Yeah, I'm setting the tone for my team and showing leadership, and I'm putting it right in the back of the net first.
So if you've just joined us, plenty's happened tonight. In that first half, Scott Jamison awarded a penalty after a foul on Marco Tilio. He skied that penalty kick over the crossbar. Wellington Phoenix in the first half had a goal disallowed for offside. Some good chances for both sides throughout the course of the evening. Here's another opportunity pending. Jamison thought about the shot. Nuno Reish will unwind from a long distance. It had a bit of dip on it from the big central defender, but Alex Poulsen thought he had it covered.
You know, as a coach, I'm looking at that thinking, no, don't shoot. There's no need for that. It's about spreading Wellington now, being patient in that front third and getting the ball to Tilio, getting one-on-one, getting him driving at the centre-backs and full-backs and potentially winning another penalty.
Yeah, the law of averages aren't working in your favour when you're taking a shot from that distance.
I've seen some of the best centre-backs in the world wouldn't even do that. Ferdinand, John Terry, they haven't scored too many from 40 yards, have they?
Well, we hope you're enjoying wherever you're watching. Melbourne City fans in full voice here at the Kingston Heath, trying to encourage their side on. O'Neill with a long-ranging pass, looking for Tilio. Forced wide, Marco Tilio. Leckie with the intricate flick, but nobody was on the same page as the Socceroo.
No, not at all. It's got to be more reliable, either hold it up, win a foul on the edge of the box, but what's evident now is in the last couple of minutes, Tilio is definitely the outlet. There's no doubt they're playing high and wide to him as quick as possible. They see him as the real threat to win this game for them.
5 minutes remaining before we go to the dreaded penalty shootout. Is it the dreaded penalty shootout? For those neutrals, I'm sure they'll be enjoying the prospect. Dreaded for the players.
Dreaded for the players, dreaded for coaches, probably more so for coaches. They can't do anything about it. You select your best five and who's going to commit and who's going to show the confidence. You never know.
Young goalkeeper, of course, between the sticks for the Wellington Phoenix, Alex Poulsen. Here's Leckie. Galloway provides the run. And blocked again. Alex Poulsen only made his debut for Wellington just 2 weeks ago. Ollie Sale, the #1 goalkeeper, injured in the game against Sydney FC. What a moment for him. Leckie with the shot blocked. Sotirio clears it.
Yeah,
That's a bit like under sixes. Just get it out of there.
Yeah, when you're winning.
They're holding on Wellington.
No, their best bet now is in penalties. You look at their structure, they're so deep. 2 strikers against a back 4 there. No chance of winning the ball and breaking from their defensive half.
Tilio. And Metcalf's shot. Too easy to handle for the young keeper.
You know, Paddy Guznorbo now will be shouting at his attacking players, listen, yes, we need you to win the game, but we need you to attach to your midfield now, get our structure, keep it compact.
Flag goes up against Stefan Kolikovski there. Tried to run down that ball from Alex Poulsen. It's getting too close. Yeah, too close. So Poulsen gets another chance to clear it. Can they find something here, Wellington? Lewis Fenton couldn't keep his feet. There's plenty of numbers here for the Knicks. Pennington. Is this the moment? McGarry, the substitute, tries to keep it in play. His pass takes a deflection. And Melbourne City come away. Look at the space here. The A-League men's champions. Oh, pull on the shirt. That is a yellow card. Nick Pennington knew what he had to do there. He was exhausted. And he had no other option. As Connor Metcalf was making a run forward, and he's danger for Wellington. Connor Metcalf. What a player. Two minutes remaining. Griffiths. Ball almost intercepted by the young striker. George Ott, the number 32. Wonder whether he steps up. He scored plenty in the New Zealand top tier domestic competition. Here's Lewis. And Ott gets the pass away inside the area. Deflected out for a corner. Wellington with a chance from the set piece as we approach the end of the second half of extra time. Can they find something? They had a goal disallowed from a similar position in the first half. Alex Rufer up there, one of the targets. City with plenty of numbers. The shot well over the crossbar. First time effort from James McGarry. There is the full-time whistle, and we're going to penalties to decide the quarter-final of this FFA Cup tie between Melbourne City and the Wellington Phoenix. After 120 minutes, it's Melbourne City 0, Wellington Phoenix 0. And the scoreline might suggest not a very entertaining game, but it's been far from it. Plenty of action at both goal ends.
No, it's been the opposite. We've seen some fantastic combination play on the edge of the box from both sides. Penalty opportunities. But, as we keep talking about that clinical moment in games, those key moments, maybe a bit of fatigue set in as well. But this is what it's about now. You've got the opportunity to go to a semi-final. Who's going to step up? It comes down to fatigue. It comes down to, obviously, confidence in their own ability and trust from the manager as well. So it's I can't wait for the last couple of minutes. But I don't know the last time I stood for 120 minutes either, Mike.
Gripping stuff here at Kingston Heath as this one goes down to a penalty shootout. Wellington Phoenix coming off a 4-0 loss on the weekend in Adelaide against Adelaide United on Saturday night. A much improved performance from Ufuk Tale's side. The crowd heading towards the goal at the left of screen. The same side of the ground that Scott Jamieson missed his penalty in the first half. I wonder if they have any intel on which side the penalty will be taken.
Well, the goalkeeper coach will be working hard now with his goalkeeper, talking about who will be taking it. If there are any trends, they would have had match analysis to tell about the opponents and certain tactics or sides that will go to. So can the goalkeeper take that information on board and execute? We will see.
We spoke about the goalkeepers. Alex Poulsen, just a handful of games of senior football under his belt. Coming on unexpectedly in that game against Sydney FC a couple of weeks ago. I was there. Ollie Sale injured himself and he came on and did a fantastic job and has been very solid for them ever since. But with his lack of experience, and you look at the other goalkeeper, Tom Glover, 24 years of age, 3 seasons now at Melbourne City. Still a young goalkeeper, but a lot more experience for Tommy Glover.
Yeah, he's played in big games, hasn't he? He's won, obviously, titles. He's playing with a big group of players as well who expect a lot as well. So, you look at the balance of the squad, it's a big moment for either goalkeeper. I'm looking forward to seeing the young Wellington goalkeeper here and how he deals with it. It's a great experience for him, and let's see who can be the hero.
So we are going down to the same end that Scott Jamieson attempted his penalty in the first half and missed. The two goalkeepers having a chat. Bit of goalkeeper solidarity there.
It's friendly for now. Just wait and see.
We spoke about whether the Melbourne City captain would step up and take a penalty. Remember, he did step up on the big occasion of the grand final in the A-League men's competition last season. There was a penalty awarded to Melbourne City and he stood up and took it and converted. He won't be the first though. It'll be Roston Griffiths, who's got plenty of experience in this situation. One of the most experienced in the Melbourne City squad. He's played his football all over the world. He's been there since the start tonight. Finishing the game as a centre-back. And he'll get us started in this penalty shootout. Melbourne City fans congregate behind the goal. Alex Poulsen with his first test of the shootout. The referee checking everything's in order. And here we go. Quarter-final FFA Cup penalty shootout. Roston Griffiths for Melbourne City. And it's saved! What a brilliant save by Alex Poulsen. He read it, went down to his left, and that was headed for the bottom corner. What a confidence boost for Wellington.
What a start. You know, I was watching Royston Griffin's last 3 or 4 minutes, stretching, looked fatigued, looked tired, stepped up. What a save from Poulsen there. Fantastic, bottom left.
Brilliant from the young goalkeeper. It wasn't a bad take. But he read it well, guessed the right way, and got a solid hand behind it, Alex Poulsen. So Ben Wayne, the young striker, now steps up to give Wellington the advantage. He hits it straight down the middle. Tom Glover committed, and Ben Wayne, who scored in this FFA Cup competition for Wellington in the last few rounds, does it again from the penalty spot and gives Wellington the advantage.
That's how you do it. Look at that pace, power, straight down the middle. Brilliant.
Aidan O'Neill steps up next for Melbourne City. O'Neill now. Oh, almost saved by Poulsen. Just underneath his legs. O'Neill wasn't convincing. He went centrally. Poulsen almost got a leg to it. Here it is again. Just underneath the leg. So Melbourne City open their account.
Kick it hard.
Wellington through Josh Laws now, the central defender. Another youngster steps up, Laws. Oh, he puts it over the bar. Very similar to what Scott Jamieson did in the penalty shootout. So we're back on level terms.
Devastated. He's played well tonight, really organised in the back four. Just too much power on it. Must go for placement.
Scott Galloway, we've seen him score some spectacular goals last season. Doesn't need to be spectacular here. We're tied at 1-1 in the penalty shootout. Galloway. Poulsen saves it again. This young keeper is about to make a hero of himself. 2 saves in the penalty shootout. Alex Poulsen, unbelievable.
Different level from the young man, right? Poulsen, class. He's obviously very dominant. Done his homework from these players as well. Going to it, his bottom left, superb. A little bit of a swagger and confidence boost as he walks off.
You look at his haircut. No doubt he's got some swagger.
Yeah.
Confident enough to pull that one off, and he's confident enough to pull off these saves tonight. 2 saves from the Wellington keeper. Can they take advantage? Louis Fenton. Fenton shoots, and Fenton's shot is saved again. Tommy Glover this time. Wow, this is fascinating stuff. Goalkeepers on top at the moment.
It's a goalkeeper's night. Zappa's on fire, that bottom left-hand corner.
Big save by Tommy Glover. 2 misses apiece. So we're back on level terms. Connor Metcalf. Almost again, he scores. Poulsen went the right way. Connor Metcalf puts Melbourne City ahead. Now the pressure is back on the Knicks.
Long dreaded walk from the halfway line now, knowing that your team's behind. Pick up that ball facing Glover.
He wasn't far away, was he, Alex Coulson?
I think it's actually gone through him there, Michael. He obviously got there and over-dived it slightly.
Well, the two they have scored, Melbourne City, Alex Coulson's got a touch on both of them. Alex Rufer is the next to step up for Wellington. Great save, Tommy Glover. How about this from the goalkeepers tonight? Tommy Glover saves another one. And he said to Alex Coulson, anything you can do, son, I can do better. 3 saves.
You're not wrong.
2 saves for Glover, 1 miss. That's 3 misses for Wellington. And this could decide it now for Melbourne City. And it is the captain.
Outstanding saves. They're not terrible penalties. Nestled in the corner.
He missed in the first half. Scott Jamieson to put Melbourne City into the semi-final of the FFA Cup. He's missed it again. I cannot believe it. Twice in one night. Scott Jamieson misses the target from the penalty spot. Unbelievable.
Speechless here, Michael. Absolutely speechless. Went the other way there. Had the opportunity. You'd expect that from your leader and your captain.
Now Wellington need to score this to stay in the penalty shootout. Josh Sotirio to keep Wellington in the contest. He scores. Game on. Well, Melbourne City have had the chance to win it, and now we go to sudden death. Sotirio going the opposite way. He knew that Tommy Glover, in the last 2, went to his left and saved them both. Smart thinking from Josh Sotirio, going the opposite way, sending Glover the wrong way. We're now back on level terms. Can you believe this? Stefan Kolakovsky, the young man who grew up as a fan of Melbourne City, to put his team ahead again. Takes it beautifully.
What a penalty. Decisive, Michael. Straight down to the left-hand side of the goalkeeper.
Great
Absolutely
take.
no chance for Poulsen.
Great take by Stefan Kolakovsky. Poulsen decided to go the other way. So now, to keep Wellington in the contest, Clayton Lewis, sudden death, must score. Glover has been a hero. He's made 2 big saves. Can he do it again? Will Clayton Lewis go to his left? To keep Wellington in it, Lewis converts. And he chose the right way.
Casual. Had me a little bit worried on the approach to the ball, but he's played well tonight. He's remained consistent, positive and confident. Slotted that away. Fantastic.
So now we're getting some of the players who wouldn't have put their hand up initially to take penalties outside of the top 5. Marco Tilio. Marco Tilio. Can he give Melbourne City the advantage here? Stops and props and Poulsen saves it! Unbelievable, this young keeper is putting his name in the headlights tonight. What about this? Alex Poulsen, just weeks ago, never dreamed that he'd be playing senior football. Ollie Sale out with an injury, and he has put his team on the verge of the semi-final of the FFA Cup. Nick Pennington, the young man born in Italy. Can he do it? He can! Wellington are through to the semi-final of the FFA Cup. Unbelievable scenes here at the Kingston Heath complex. For the first time in the club's history, they make the last four. They were down on the canvas. They got up, and just like Rocky Balboa, fought again, and they're through. They've had to do it hard all year, away from home, and this will give them an almighty lift. Scott Miller, what about this?
How good is that? A few weeks ago we were in the same position, commentating Wellington Phoenix, saying, why not? You're here now, you're stuck in the country, can't see your families, make it count, go all the way to the final and win it. And what a fantastic night. It was almost worth it. The 0-0, extra time, seeing those penalties. Poulsen, incredible, great to watch.
Heroes everywhere for the Wellington Phoenix. Nick Pennington's name will go down in history. But young Alex Poulsen, the goalkeeper, the teenager, pulling off save after save. Scott Jamieson had the chance to put his team into the semi-final with the 5th penalty. And for the second time tonight, skied his penalty over the crossbar. He wouldn't predict it. He wouldn't read about it.
No, you couldn't make it up, especially, you speak of his experience as well. It happens. It's part of the game. Scotty will be fine. He'll obviously review his own performance. He was actually very good throughout the game. Unfortunate occasion, but to be brave to take penalties is one thing. If you miss them, hey, listen, now it's about your coach and your team getting around you and supporting you. But fair credit to Wellington tonight. Set up defensively very well, controlled parts of the game with possession and created great chances.
Well, you've got to love this competition. The FFA Cup provides another dramatic night of football and another fairy tale story in this competition. The Wellington Phoenix are through to the semi-final for the first time in the club's history. Ufuk Talay spoke about this competition at the start of the season and said he wants to make sure they give it their best shot. They've never done well in this competition before, and tonight proves just how much it means to them. Nicholas Pennington starting the game tonight with the winning penalty. Here is the moment that took the Wellington Phoenix into the semi-final. Off 2 steps, if you don't mind, and into the top corner and into the semi-final.
Great scenes, right? Imagine being away from home, Michael, not seeing your family and friends and enjoying this moment together. Outstanding. They'll be looking at that draw tomorrow thinking, who are we going to get? Is it one of the big clubs in Melbourne Victory? Why not? We're ready for it. This is great momentum for Ufuk Talay and Wellington Phoenix.
Well, it's a special night for the Wellington Phoenix and Ufuk Talay. They've had a really tough year, having to live away from home. But it'll be all worth it tonight after that dramatic win over the champions of the A-League men's competition. Wellington Phoenix are through to the semi-final. Don't forget, the draw of the FFA Cup semi-final will take place tomorrow on the FFA Cup Facebook page. Melbourne Victory also through tonight. Thanks for joining us from Kingston Heath. We hope you enjoyed the call. Scott, thank you for coming along. And thank you for tuning in. From me, Michael Zapponi, Scott Miller, and the rest of the team, it's goodbye for now.